Welcome back. Let's give you a recap of our top stories here on All Angles. Auditor General Tsakani Maluleke paints a dire picture of the state of our municipalities. Only 62 have credible financial practice. Some Cape Town residents try to piece their lives together after heavy rains damage roads and infrastructure. And 6-year-old Kailetu's family keeps praying he's found as search and recovery missions continue after he fell into an open manhole in Dlamini, Soweto. Right, this year we're tackling the upcoming Youth Day festivities differently. While we focus on the country's youth, we cannot forget about those who've had little to no guidance and have fallen victim to bad decisions made along the way. eNCA reporter Slindelo Masikane is out at the Bavianspoort prison in Pretoria. Gauteng provincial leaders and pupils from various schools are visiting the facility, seeking to encourage the children to make the right decisions in life. Slee, just give us an update on what exactly is happening there, what the program is with these prisoners and other young people.
So every year, just ahead of Youth Day, we do see government departments making an effort to try and engage young people on various issues that are affecting them. And of course, crime is a big one here in this country. In fact, recently the Gauteng did release its crime stats, and many of the crimes have shot up at alarming rates. And when we engaged with the community safety MEC, she says actually young people are perpetrators in many of these crimes. We know that the socioeconomic conditions of South Africans in general, young people, the unemployment rate sitting at around 66%, are just some of the issues where we do see young people resorting to crime as just a last means of trying to survive. So what we're seeing here today is the Community Safety Department engaging these young people in terms of the programs that they're in and exactly how they can assist once they eventually leave prison as well.
Slee, and what's the whole purpose of bringing these pupils to a prison? Is it to make them afraid of making wrong decisions, or?
I don't think necessarily afraid, but maybe to just serve as a deterrent, to say to you, look, you don't want to end up here. There is no future. Crime essentially doesn't pay. So what we've seen the Community Safety Department doing is bringing pupils from several schools across Gauteng to the juvenile center that's based here at Bavianspoort. And we know that it's one of two, in fact, here in Gauteng. There's another one in Boksburg. This one is a medium facility. So the offenders are not really, the crimes aren't too serious, although they are, of course, any crime is serious, but the maximum for those who are young and need to serve time, that one is based in Boksburg. The population here is at about 230 juvenile offenders who are based here at this facility here in Pretoria, and their ages range from about 17 to 25. And earlier on, in fact, Masiko, we heard from one of the offenders who was brave enough to tell their story, and he spoke about how he became quite problematic from around the age of 12 when he started to hang out with a very bad crowd. He started stealing at home. In fact, he comes from a background where his mom was a nurse and was providing for her family as a single parent. As he got older into his teenage years, he started bullying. He just became very problematic at school, eventually dropping out in grade 9, and that is when he was at home a lot and started engaging in drugs. And there was a situation with his mother where she was trying to discipline him. She slapped him across the face. He then warned her not to do it again, but she did, and that resulted in him fetching a knife from the kitchen and stabbing her to death in front of his siblings. So he told his story to say, I want you guys to know that I envy you. I see you sitting here with your uniforms. I was once you, and I decided to take a bad path, and I just want to tell my story so that you guys don't end up in prison just like me. But of course, let's just take a listen to MEC Faith Mazibuko with regards to this program here today.
The reason why we also brought in young people from schools is because you know that there's quite a lot of bullying at schools, drugs now being sold at schools, gangsterism also, where young people are actually co-opted or recruited to join gangsterism. So that is why we believe that if we continuously expose them to some of the lives behind bars, they will refrain from doing such things. Young women also, when we engage them to say, do not believe umathambe sopo lo hlangana naye and saying mabhebeza ngiyakuthanda ngibambelele isibhamu sami or ngifihlelele intsango yami, because ultimately when you get arrested it's found on you and you are the ones that actually go to jail. But majority of young people here, if you listen to them, they've done house breakings, others were found selling drugs, others for car theft, most of these crimes that we see that have increased in Gauteng, most of them are actually committed by these young people. So we believe if really correctional services does its work in changing the behaviors amongst these young people,